Morning students, I welcome you all for the online class of economics. Today we will be going to continue with the topic average propensity to consume. When we are going to learn this topic average propensity to consume, we will be learning the different way the APC get affected, its effect on the total consumption and total income of the peoples. Different situations are there. APC greater than when it will happen, when you are seeing income is increased by 50 and propensity to consume also increased by 40. In this situation, what we have observed there, total consumption, actually APC is total consumption and total income. So when we see in this particular life by how much it has been increased and how much it has been decreased, that we will not see. We will be seeing only the total C and total Y. So how much is the total C? That is 60 and total Y equals to 50. 60 divided by 50 when we will do, we will be going to learn it will be coming as average propensity to consume, that is 1.2. Average propensity will equals to 1. When it will come, when income and consumption are done equally, that income is 100 and consumption is also 100, that situation APC average will come 1. APC less than 1, in which situation it will arise? APC less than 1, it will arise in the situation when income is income is more than the consumption. Here the people will do some savings also, have the habit of savings. So here what we will see, APC is less than 1, the answer will come 140 divided by 150, it will generally come in 0.934. So these are the three situations when APC, from this we can come to know that APC when it will be greater than 1, APC when it will be equal 1, and APC less than 1. APC will always be greater than 1 when in the situation when income is less than consumption. When income is equals to consumption, in that situation we will get APC equals to 1, and when we will get the income is more than the consumption, in that situation APC will come less than 1. Diagrammatic illustration also results about the APC based on the data set in the table number 4. The same data, student, you have to take, and from that same data you have to make the connect with the APC and the income. For that, x and y axis first of all you will be drawing, and the y axis is income, x axis income one side, and the another side the consumption. It can be vice versa, no issue is there, but it must have the set of data to be correct taken. When the income line, first of all, that is 45-degree line, as I already insisted to you, y will be there, income line. This is the line of income y. Now come students, what is there? When the consumption was, APC was, how much consumption? 20 was there, and then the consumption level increased to, income was 0, APC, consumption was 20. When the income was 50, income is 50 and the consumption is 60. Okay, when the income increases to 100, consumption also increased to 100. When the income increases to 150, the consumption is 140. So this line what we have joined, this is showing the income and the consumption effect. Okay, as per the income consumption. At a point, this Y and C will be meeting. This is the break-even point, consumer equilibrium point, and this line, by joining the point of locus, we will get the C line. C and Y is connecting at the point O. Okay, so this is the way how we will be getting average propensity to consume also. Now, this already I made you study. When the C will be less than Y, APC answer will be when then will be less than 1, and when income is greater than C, when the income is greater than C, you will be getting the APC to be lower than 1. When income is equals to consumption, it will be APC equals to 1, and when the income is less than the consumption, then you will get more than 1. APC will be greater than 1. Okay. The diagram showed that when C line is above the Y line, C greater than Y, accordingly APC greater than 1. When C line is below the Y line, C is less than Y, accordingly APC less than 1. At a point where C line crosses the Y line, C equals to Y, accordingly APC equals to 1. Marginal propensity to consume, if you see student, it refers to the proportion of additional income going to consumption expenditure. It is measured as a ratio between change in consumption and change in income. Marginal propensity to consume is the ratio between change in consumption and change in income. As marginal propensity to consume states that change in consumption divided by change in income, that is MPC, equals to change delta C upon delta Y. If income increases from rupees 1000 to rupees 1200 crore and consumption increases from rupees 800 to 900 crore, it means that change in income is 200 and change in consumption is 100. So what we are seeing there, when we see MPC in this situation, what is there? Change in C upon change in Y. So what is the change in C is came 100 and change in Y, as I said, it is 200. So from there we will take the MPC as we already learned the formula. It is important to note that the value of MPC can never be greater than 1. Okay, you have to remember MPC answer can never be greater than 1. It will come 1 equals to 1, and some of the situation it will always be equal to 1 or it will be less than 1. It will not be greater than 1, because MPC is a proportion of additional unit of income, and a proportion of additional unit can never be greater than the additional unit itself. The value of MPC is generally greater than 0 and less than 1, because often additional income is split into consumption and a part is considered as saving. So never the MPC will be resulting greater than 1. Okay, because people after a certain level of income increase, they will start having a habit of savings also with the consumption. So that shows that MPC will never be greater than 1. Figure 6 shows diagrammatic illustration of the estimation of MPC based on the data set in the figure table number 5 that we are leaving now. Same CMY is there, and the particular area which we are getting under the line, it is the 0.8 what we have deserved. That only has been written. Change in C, change in Y, you can see there. The vertical line is change in C and the horizontal line is change in Y. It is going on there, and that particular area is considered as 0.8 inches. There we will be having the marginal propensity to consume. And Y and C we already done in the earlier line. This MPC you have known how we have calculated. This MPC has been calculated like this. Income is, you can see there, income and consumption, change in income and change in MPC change we have to see. In the average propensity we don't have to see the change, we have to take the whole consumption, whole expenditure there. So what we are seeing, income first will be 0. Second will be income increased by change in Y 50, change in C 40, 40 divided by 50. Here according to this 40 divided by 50, 0.8. 150, how much increase? 50 increase. Here 40 again increase, 40 divided by 50 again 0.8. Here how much increase? 40 has been increased. Here how much increase? 50. 40 divided by 50, 0.8. Okay, so this gets over. Diagrammatic illustration also gets over. Now the next topic, student, APC and MPC are two parameters. The value of which parameter can be greater than 1 and when. Value of APC can be greater than 1 in situation it happens when the level of income is low and C greater than Y. Value of MPC cannot be greater than 1. MPC is the ratio between additional consumption and additional income. So MPC is always, we have to find how much the income and consumption has been increased, and the ratio of that it will be MPC. Since additional consumption change in C is only a part of additional income, change in Y, change in C upon change in Y cannot be greater than 1. Propensity to save, we will see. Propensity to save states that propensity to save refers to the proportion of income which is kept as savings. It is expressed as the ratio between S and Y. Like propensity to consume, propensity to save also has two aspects. One is average propensity to save and second is marginal propensity to save. When we see about the average propensity to save, it states that the total savings upon total income. It refers to the proportion of total income that goes to total savings. It is measured as the ratio between total savings and total income at a given level of income in the economy. Average propensity to save is the ratio between total savings and total income, and APS equals to S upon I. If income Y is rupees 100 crore and saving is 40 crore, if example, what we can get? APC has it is said, APS sorry, savings upon income. So 40 divided by 100, it will be 0.4. So how we got? This indicates that at the given level of income in an economy, 40% of the income is saved. Like APC, the value of APS is generally less than 1 because only a part of income is saved. However, there can be situation when APS equals to 0 or even negative. APS is 0 when there is no saving out of income, and it's negative when the C is greater than Y. So that saving is negative. Table 6 shows that estimation of average propensity to save corresponding to 3 different situations when S equals to 0 and APS equals to 0, when S is negative and APS is negative, and when S is positive but less than Y and APS less than 1. Average propensity to save state that here, APS states that here, different situation 1, 2, income Y rupees crores is there, consumption rupees crore is there, savings is rupees crore. You can see there APS equals to S upon Y. APS, though it is given income, consumption and savings, okay, but we have to take APS, for that formula is S upon Y. So minus 20 divided, here in the first case no average propensity will be there, has 0 income is there, 0 will be the answer. Now next is minus 10 divided by 50, it will be minus 0.2. 0 divided by 100, 0 will be there, here infinity the answer will be coming. If here if you will divide 10 divided by 150, here the answer will be 0.067. So this is the situations. APC is negative when the income is more than the savings, okay, and APC will be situation is there when the APS is equals to 0, where the income and saving income is there but saving is 0. There you will be having the 0 APS. And situation 3, when APS is less than 1, in that situation the income is more than the savings. The first situation 1, here what we are saying, APS is negative, okay, why? Because saving is negative and the income is high. That situation you will be having negative APS. So these are the 3 situations when APS will be there. Figure 7 shows different components of illustrations of the estimation of APS based on the data set in table number 6. Average propensity to save, you can see the students, as I said, saving started from minus 20, plus 20 consumption was the autonomous consumption when income was 0. So here savings will be minus 20. Then saving increased to minus 10. You can see minus 10 when 50 was income. And when the saving increase, when the income became 100, it will become to 0. And when the income increased more to 150, then the income, then the C was plus 10. So these are the various points which we says what was the saving line drawn. How the saving line drawn? First, when the zero income. When the income was 0, minus 20. When the income 50, it is minus 10. When the income increases to 10, it will be 100, it was 0. So this line only. When the income increase 150, it is 10. So this way if we will connect, we will get the which line? Savings line. Average propensity to savings when we see student, S line or MPS is the same. As when S line lies above the horizontal axis, S is positive leading to positive APS, and however even when it is positive, APS is always less than the 1. Unlike APS is never greater than 1 simply because saving cannot be greater than income during an accounting year while consumption can be, okay. So saving cannot be greater than income, it will be always less than the income. Can APS be greater than 1? Give reason. No, it never will be greater than 1 because people are having, APS is the ratio between total savings and total income, S upon Y, and total saving cannot be more than the total investment. Because of that, total saving cannot be greater than total income during an accounting year. Saving is just a part of income. Putting differently, we can say that if APS greater than 1, then S must be greater than Y. Which case C must be negative, which can never ever happen. Marginal propensity to save, let us see MPS. Marginal propensity to save, when we see student, it refers to the proportion of additional income that goes to to savings. Okay, how much we will try to save more. It is measured by ratio between change in savings upon change in income, delta S upon delta Y. So let us see one of the question about how if income Y rises from rupees 100 crore to 200 crore, it means 100. Definitely 100 to 200 means 100 crore increase. Okay. Income Y 100 crore. And change in S, if it is given, yes, given. Change rises from 20 to 80. 60 crore it has been increased savings. So 60 divided by 100, that is 0.6. Now we will proceed with some of the mathematical calculation. Area getting given MPS. When we teach marginal propensity to save, student income Y, consumption C is given, saving S, MPS is given delta S upon delta Y. Here what we can see, their income is 0, consumption is 20. So 0 divided by 20, here savings will be minus 20, no MPS will be there. Next line, 0 to 50 income increase, savings is minus 20 to minus 10. Minus 10, here income has been affected by minus 10. So minus 10 divided by minus 20, it will be 0.2. 100 income increased by 50, and the savings has been declined to how much? Minus 10 plus 0, it will be 10. 10 divided by minus 10 it will be, but MPS we are taking positively. 10 divided by 50, 0.2. Then 50 and the income increased by 10. 10 by 50 again 0.2. Irrespective of the negative things, if we will take, it will be giving the positive. That all the MPS show it is less than 1. Okay. So this is the marginal propensity to savings as we learned. So today we have gone to learn the 4 together: APC, MPS, APC, APS, MPC and MPS. So for today's class this much only. Prepare, have the calculations. In the next class with more calculations and more explanation I will be coming. Thank you for today's class. Have a nice day.